Welcome one and all to another edition of the Defo Show with Lubie here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Thank you to Water Cleanup of Florida. I've been talking a lot about this lately. We've had a lot of issues at my home when it came to water damage, other things. The first people we called were Water Cleanup of Florida, and everything we've said here is true. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You give them a call, they will get back to you. They will be there for you. They will answer your call. They will set up an appointment. They'll come out. They'll explain everything to you. They'll give you a rough estimate. Then they'll go do the numbers, give you a real estimate, and keep it true to that estimate. Plus, with 60 years of combined experience between Michael, Robert, and their team, they will get the job done efficiently, effectively, and give you quality work just like you expect, just like you want. Look, not something you always get from service companies, but you will get it from Water Cleanup of Florida. If you have any issues with water, fire, mold, give them a call, 954-579-0356, 954-579-0356. Also, check out their website, WCUFL.com, WCUFL.com. If you mention Lubie or 5 Reasons, you will get a free inspection during business hours. Also, check them out on their socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Water Cleanup FL. Water Cleanup of Florida, we clean up your schmutz. Yeah, it's slow time in sports. The Heat trying to make moves, but nothing happening right now. The Dolphins opening up camp with rookies. Next week, the veterans come. But it is baseball season. We don't pay too much attention to the Marlins, but we will see what happens there within 5 games of the wild card. 5.5 back, 5 games of 500. They're in the mix. These next 2 weeks are going to be big for the Marlins. We talked about the Miami Marlins with Bally Sports Florida Marlins host, analyst, reporter, the one and only Jessica Blaylock today on the Defo Show with Lubie on the 5 Reasons Sports Network.
And we always love it because every time I turn on Bally Sports Florida, I don't know if there's some crossover on Bally Sports Sun as well, but it's always great to get the insight of Jessica Blaylock, who does an outstanding job at everything she does on the telecast of both the Panther hockey games and the Miami Marlins. And it was with great pleasure that we have her on to help us solve a bunch of mysteries, because confusion is our middle name right now when it comes to the Marlins. And we welcome to the program Jessica Blaylock. Jessica, how are you? Thanks so much for joining us here this morning.
I am doing great. The one thing I'm not doing a good job of this morning is keeping my patience level high in this express lane trying to head down to the ballpark.
Oh, Jesus.
What is the point of an express lane if it is stop and go the entire time?
I hate the express lane.
Yeah,
It's such a
like,
scam.
It's crazy.
Pay like $10
idea,
and go
yeah.
slower.
I wish they just raised taxes, or whatever.
Zooms by.
I'm watching the regular lanes like whiz past me, and I am stopping and going for miles in the express lane. It's
One
awesome.
old lady, from Miramar, with the knuckles barely above the dashboard, will take the express lanes and turn them into just pure, unadulterated torture. Now you're heading already to the ballpark because there's like a 1:00 game today. I mean, right back in action, Jessica. No rest for the weary here, and yet it didn't end in a very pretty fashion. Those 3 games lost to the Phillies. Are you with us on
Right.
this whole thing about the myth of the Sisyphus, where, the guy's trying to roll the rock up the hill, and every time he gets to the top, boom, they knock him right back down? Story of my life and my broadcasting career. But every time the Marlins seem to get near 500 for like the last 8-10 years, I mean, we've been watching this. Somehow something happens, and they have to climb this mountaintop again, and they get right up there, and then they fall back. So, I mean, how do they break this in the second half of the season, and can they, in your opinion, Jessica Blaylock?
Yeah, I mean, I think there are 2 things in particular. I think number one, they've got to find a way to get healthy, which, injuries are part of the game, and you never want to make injuries as an excuse. But I tell you what, it just seems in that first half of the season, it just kind of, when it rains, it pours. When it came to injuries, you had Brian Anderson and Joey Wendell on the IL, and then as soon as you got them back, Jorge Soler and Jazz Chisholm Jr. go on the IL. You've been playing the whole season pretty much without, guys like Jesus Luzardo, who is supposed to be a huge part of your rotation. So it's almost like they've just never seemed to catch a break with having the lineup on the field that they intended to have. I think losing John Birdie especially was a much bigger hit than maybe people realized, especially because of just how dynamic of a player he is, his ability to get on base, his ability to steal bases and get into scoring position. So, you can finally field a full lineup that you intended to, day in and day out. And then the second thing, you've just got to find a way to produce offensively. I did the math, and that final homestand, the Marlins only averaged 1.71 runs per game. They got shut out twice, and you cannot let that happen. And when Sandy pitches a gem, I cannot explain it. It's the same thing that happened to Jacob deGrom a couple years ago. For some reason, the team just all of a sudden cannot score. Can't even give him 2-3 runs of support. So these starts where your starting pitcher is keeping you in the ballgame for 7-8 innings, you have got to find a way, whether it's playing small ball and not relying on, the home run so much, whether it's doing more hit and run, whether it's being more aggressive on the base path, whatever it is, your offense has to find a way to be able to put your pitching staff and your bullpen in a good position. I think too many times we've seen pitching get the job done, and offense unfortunately struggle. And then on occasion we've seen the offense pour on the runs, but then for some reason the pitching, has a tough day. So you just kind of hope consistently everything can work together at the same time.
Yeah, I might be a jinx also, Jessica. I apologize for that. And please send my regards to Don Mattingly over this, because every time I tune in, something just beyond tragic is happening. Like those booted balls in that Met game in the extra innings when the Marlins had taken a lead. What was it? Alfaro hits a home run in San Diego against them on the 2-strike pitch. It looks like the game's under wraps. I don't know. There have been some catastrophic things. How does Don Mattingly still have hair? And then, further, we're getting a lot of comments on our chat line here, and, it comes up, quite a bit about whether Mattingly is the man for the job at this point. Now, we love him.
Yep.
So it pains us to even think about this, and we try to deflect this as much as we can, say, oh, no, you guys don't realize it. It's not him. What are your thoughts? I mean, you read in out-of-town papers, I get the post every day that Mattingly's job may be in jeopardy and things of that nature. But what do you think about what's going on from a managerial standpoint with the team this year?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's got to be tough. I think Donnie's even mentioned in a couple of games afterwards, just how tough some of these losses have been, especially the tight ones. It's not so frustrating. As much as you don't want to lose 10-0, it's not as hard to let that one go because you didn't really feel like you ever had a chance in that one, I guess. But, it's those one-run ball games, especially this season, that have just been so tough. I think they're 16 and 21 in one-run ball games or something like that. And those, to me, really tend to be the difference in whether you sometimes are a playoff team or not, right? Being able to be on the winning side of one-run ball games. That's something that a team like the Rays are so good at, winning one-run ball games. So I think it's one thing if you're getting blown out every single night. I think it's a little tougher when it is games that you have a chance in, and for some reason just either can't close out, can't find that extra run to scratch across. So, I mean, I think from a managerial perspective, it's always easy to say, fire the manager when times are tough, but I hope the perspective is, when they had the 7-game win streak or when they had the 6-game win streak, that people are giving Donnie credit, right? Because you can't kind of have it both ways. You can't get frustrated and say he should be fired when times are tough, when you get swept by the Phillies, but then not give him credit when you've won 7 in a row, like the Marlins did earlier this season. So, you're hovering right now. I know that was a tough way to go into the break, but again, 17 straight games without a day off, a limited bench because of injuries. And what do you usually do when a guy is struggling at the plate? You give him a day, right? To kind of just step back. And they weren't in a position to do that for anyone. Look at Garrett Cooper, who has been batting, above 300 pretty much the whole season and just kind of had a really rough start to July. Well, guess what? You couldn't really take him out of the lineup. I know you took him out a couple of days, but even he you didn't really want to play him. So, I mean, it's just, it's stuff like that where you're like, all right, sure, it was a frustrating final homestand, but in reality, the Marlins are still just, what is it, 5-6 games, right around there, under 500.
Yeah.
They're still looking at a wild card spot. There's still potential with a lot of baseball left to be played.
Did we lose Jessica there?
Break are going to be.
Oh, there she is. Okay.
You got me?
Yeah,
I think these next couple of weeks out of the All-Star break are going to be very defining for this team.
Well, and that's the thing is, and you just said it, a lot of the times when teams are really good in close games, you're like, well, it could go the other way. Well, it's the same that can be said the other side of it. Like, they've really had a lot of issues in one-run games. Okay, if they turn that around, how difficult is that to do? Then they're in it. This 2 weeks, a lot of people are saying, is the make or break for the team, and I think the ball club is sort of feeling that. And with pitching the way that they have, you're always in it. What I'm curious is, what is the sort of the feeling around the club? Because coming into the year, they were excited. Early on, they played a lot better early on than they have in years past. And they've sort of hit the struggles with injuries, but a lot of, from what I'm hearing, in the next week or so, you're going to get everyone back. You're getting Luzardo back. You're going to get Chisholm back. So you are within striking distance and now getting healthy when a lot of the other clubs aren't doing that. What is the feeling around the ball club itself?
Yeah, I mean, I think the feeling going into the break was understanding how much the break was coming at a good time for everyone to just kind of step back, have a couple days to take your mind off of baseball. Gabby Sanchez and I talked about that quite a bit Sunday in the postgame show, just the importance of, just get away for a few days, really, like spend time with family, do something fun, take a little trip, go fishing, just get your mind off of baseball. I think everyone kind of recognized we just need a day or two, right? To step away and kind of clear the head, clear the mind, and then come back, motivated. But I think going into this ball game today, going into a road trip against Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, you feel like there might be some opportunity. I think the feeling is motivation and potential, and understanding how important these next couple of weeks are to maybe determining ultimately how this season plays out. So I think you really just have to understand. I think you have to be realistic about the position that you're in and understand that there is work to do. But I think you also see that the season is so far from over. I mean, it's so far from over with how many games left in the position that they're in. So I think if you're circling one word, on the big board, it's potential, and taking advantage of the potential that you have to get yourself really back in a good spot over these next few weeks.
All right, so I'm watching Jessica Blaylock with us here from Bally Sports Florida, of course, on her way to the ballpark. How's the traffic? Is it thinning out a little bit, or are you still stuck?
Oh, gosh. There's no way I'm making a 9 o'clock clubhouse. So I might be walking in. I might be walking in about hopefully only 10 minutes or so late. But, yeah, the express lane is currently the bane of my existence right now. It should be called the bane of my existence lane.
Yeah. It's only like $10, in the morning, too. They get stuck even further in traffic.
$15 on the way home after a day game. Perfect time. I'm not even kidding. Wait, what? We had that Pittsburgh game last Thursday, I think at 12:10 that went into extra innings. So of course I leave the ballpark at like 5 o'clock on the dot. I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun, making my way home from Miami to Fort Lauderdale. I think the express lane was like $14.50 or something, and I did not care. I was taking it no matter what.
That should come with a chopper ride.
It's like Orlando. It's like the drive to Orlando.
Get Ron DeSantis on the phone. We want to talk about this while Jessica's stuck in just horrendous traffic. At least, it's a legitimate excuse here. I mean, everybody can kind of relate to it. By the way, too, I mean, I don't know if you hit some exotic location We have one of our members of the crew here on the show is like vacationing in the Maldives, and you had a few days off for the All-Star break. You've been going at it very hard. I mean, Tommy Hutton is playing golf in celebrity tournaments and climbing mountains in Colorado. And then the strangest of destinations, though, was Minervini calls us and says, I don't know if I can do the show. I'm in Idaho, like picking potatoes. I mean, what was this man thinking when he planned his vacation?
No, he said the term, I'm in vacation in Idaho. And I'm like, I don't think that's ever been said.
Who the hell goes to Idaho?
So I will say I believe he went to Idaho for a very important birthday for his sister. So okay. I think he was there at least spending time with family. But I would not be surprised if he was out in the field picking potatoes, on the side. Who knows? Minervini's resume is like 17 pages long because of all of the random things that he does during his time off. Yeah. I'm not even sure anymore what his official title should be. But yeah, this was, this was actually, it was a really short break. It did feel very short because I worked 17 straight games going into the break. Had Monday and Tuesday to really relax. But I mean, with us playing a day game today, yesterday I was doing, prep for this one game against the Rangers for the road trip. So instead of an all-star break, it did kind of just feel like two random days off versus an actual break that I normally would try and sneak in a small trip or, but that's okay. At the end of the day, again, I always say I'm so grateful to do something that I love. So even though this break was a little bit shorter than normal, I will still have a smile on my face walking into the ballpark today.
Hey, it's a great place to set up and be at the office. You do a tremendous job. Jessica Blaylock in traffic on her way to the ball game, I believe. And Pablo not getting enough credit for the season he's having.
A great year.
Going to be on the hill there to start out the second half for the Marlins today. 6-4, 2.86 earned run average. Really showing. Fulfilling a lot of the promise that we've seen from him in the past this season, if he can sustain it. All right, we want you to have a great time. Once you get to the ballpark, if you need somebody to vouch for the fact that you were in traffic, we can do that. If you need a producer to give us a call,
they can blame us.
They never like it when you're late for the shoot there, and they're saying, "Don't worry, man, the talent's going to get here any time now." Let's hope for a big time second half, Jessica. We'd like to talk more often, and always a pleasure having you on the show.
For sure. Thank you, guys. Always love coming on with you.
All right. Good luck.
All right.
Be
thanks
safe.
so much.
Thank you again to Jessica Blaylock. Miami Marlins start their second half or after the All-Star break season today at 1 o'clock at Lone Depot Park. Pablo Lopez. Yes. Top 10 ERA, Pablo Lopez with a 6.4 record. 2.87, just under 3 ERA. Having a really good season himself. Let's see if the Marlins can get some run support. The bullpen can pitch strong. Keep those starters pitching a great second half. We'll see what happens with Don Mattingly. A lot of fire coming on him. And look, he's been there a few years, and nothing has really changed. We'll see if the Marlins change something in this second half. Thank you again to Jessica Blaylock from Bally Sports Florida. Defo, Lubie, check us out each and every morning at 7 to 9 on South Florida Live. Just Google South Florida Live. Go to Facebook or YouTube, South Florida Live. We have our national podcast, The Believe Network, BLEAV.com. Search After Hours. And each and every day right here, our South Florida content, The Defo Show with Lubie on the 5 Reasons Sports Network.
Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in the Plantation, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.